Your career was just incredible. You said that you weren't sure how long you would have that job, and then you ended up having that job, and just, pardon my French, but kicking ass at it in every way possible. And then about 3 years ago, something happened. You were having a normal day, and then it turned to not be a normal day, and it sort of changed everything forever.
Yeah, it really did change my life just in a moment, which is, I think, you know, what I try to talk to people about now is just how quickly your life can change. And for me, I was just getting ready to go to work. We had one of those Maine snowstorms where there was a light snow falling. It had been warm, so the ground had unfrozen a bit, and then it gotten cold again. But because of the snow, you couldn't see all of the ice patches. I got up my driveway, which was the most challenging part, and realized I'd forgotten my phone. Yeah. So I went back for the phone, but I knew I couldn't make it back down the driveway in the car, so I walked, and I decided to go down my yard, because I thought that would be a little less slick, and I got to the very end, and there was just a sheet of ice I didn't see, and in a moment my feet came up, and what broke my fall was the back of my head. So I slammed down a couple of times. No one was home at the time, and I don't remember it vividly, but I do know I just sat there for a while, and I had the strangest sensation, Dan. I felt something I'd never felt before, which was my brain slamming against my skull. You know, the brain is sitting in some nice fluid, and you're not supposed to be really aware of it. And so I thought the first thing I uttered out loud was, uh-oh, because I just knew instinctively this is not a good sensation. And eventually I told my legs they could walk if I willed them to do so. I went in, sat down for a while, and then I walked back up, fell 3 or 4 more times, but forward this time, and went to work. And I did this, which was probably the worst assault I could have given an injured brain, which was to sit under bright lights in a very noisy environment and think on your feet. Yeah. You're reading, you're moving, walking and talking. And by the 3rd newscast, I realized I was in trouble, because I couldn't, it sounded as if everything was so amplified, and I was very conscious of the lights. It was like staring at the sun, and I got myself to the emergency room at that point. And from there, it's been a long journey, and I'm happy to say I've recovered quite a bit, but things are very different. Life is very different. Yeah. And you know, I miss the old me, but I'm very, very happy to say that there, you know, is a life that may be different, but a very positive, fulfilling one. So, thank you.
What is your life like today, and how much are we just not seeing for you coming out even here to sit and have this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to raise awareness about it, because it is an invisible
You can have this
injury,
opportunity
you know?
any damn time you want,
Thanks,
honestly.
It's just so good to see you again anyway. We didn't even get to that part where we got into all of this, but yes, just to give you an idea of how far I've come, I could not walk a straight line. I had terrible vertigo. I still can't read extensively. And it took a long, long time and a lot of speech and physical therapy and occupational therapy to be able to maintain my balance, regain my balance, to help with the vertigo. And now I'm to the point where, you know, I walk pretty well. Thank you for the escort out here, because I haven't had heels on in about 3 years. So
me either. So, you know.
Well, you can borrow if you'd like backstage. I won't tell.
Don't tempt me.
That's right. But what I have to do now is really plan my life. If I know that I'm doing something that's going to require a lot of cognitive abilities, I plan around that. So I tell people I can do essentially one thing a day. Would you like to be my one thing? And so you're my one thing today, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming.